Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how I clean wheels, tires, and fender liners. It's one of the dirtiest areas of the vehicle. I've already done the door jams like I did a video of the other day. I've already cleaned the door jams on this car. That part is already clean. This is a plug-in hybrid car, so I'm not really going to do too much in the engine bay other maybe than just wipe down the plastics, but really no need to do a video on that specifically. It's not going to be a full engine wash. A lot of stuff going on there under the hood with harnesses and different things. I'm not gonna mess with that. Not on a car that's only about 8 months old. So basically, when it comes to wheels and tires, there's a variety of cleaners and stuff that's on the market and that you can use all the way from down to your retail level. Basically, you can walk into Walmart or AutoZone and pick up a $4 or $5 bottle of wheel cleaner. You can clean your wheels, also some of those clean tires as well. But the downside is the chemicals that are in a lot of those wheel cleaners aren't the best for your, not necessarily your wheel, but your brake components, your rotor, your caliper, your lines, the suspension, the shocks and the coils. Acidic wheel cleaners, acid-based wheel cleaners, and those iron remover wheel cleaners, they do a fantastic job. They clean wheels very well. They can basically restore a wheel that hasn't been cleaned in years and basically make it look as good as it can again. Obviously, there's going to be pitting that goes on as a wheel ages, but those are going to be your strongest wheel cleaners. They are not necessary for a vehicle that you wash every week, every month, every 3 months, really up to 6 months, unless you have a performance vehicle or a vehicle that has a high level of brake dust. You don't need those strong acidic iron remover wheel cleaners, because what's going to happen is if you use them on a regular, you're going to notice your brake caliper starts to turn brown and starts to corrode. Your brake lines, your brake hardware, the clips and all the stuff gets corroded, and your brakes might not function the way that they're supposed to if you continually use those cleaners over a period of time. Now, if you're doing a detail on a vehicle, and again, the wheels haven't been washed in years, acidic based wheel cleaner might be your best friend. It'll be the quickest method as well. And any of these wheel cleaners out there that claim they're spray on and hose off, they just don't work. And if they do, they're going to be more harm to other areas down here other than just getting the wheel clean. So the first thing I like to always clean is I like to clean the tire sidewall first. I like to get the browning effect off. You might not be able to see that on the camera, but basically, the tires over time as you drive them, there's a protectant that's built into the rubber of the tire, and as you drive, it gets pushed out to the surface. It's to prevent the tires from dry rotting, but when the oxygen, the air hits the sidewall with that protectant, it turns it brown. So you have to remove that first if you are planning on putting a tire shine on, or just remove it altogether, because it does make the tire look kind of dingy and kind of gives it a faded look almost, especially when it's in the sun. So let me grab my tire cleaner that I use. Again, you can use all-purpose cleaner diluted. Some wheel cleaners are designed to be also used on the tire, but I like dedicated tire cleaners because they're specifically formulated for the cleaning of the tire. Yes, the all-in-one wheel cleaners, they can clean the tire, meaning get the dirt off, but this is specifically designed to pull out the oxidation in the rubber. Same thing with the fender liners. This is a good fender liner cleaner. The downside is it is a little pricey. It is an Adams product. They have premium grade products, but any of you that use them know that they can get expensive and they can be very pricey, not really suited for the professional detailer who's might be cleaning 2, 3, 4, 5 plus cars a day. But for me, who just details here on the side, it works well. It's a great tire cleaner. It's the best that I've found, and the best part about it is it doesn't harm the tire. There's tire cleaners out there. You have to be careful because they actually can dry out the sidewall prematurely. But this, I've yet to see any effects of this having anything to do with that. So what I'll do first, I don't spray the tire down, and the reason I don't do that is because I don't want the product to get diluted in the water. I want this to directly activate with the tire sidewall. do is you soak this down. Make sure you just get the tire covered completely. And you're gonna let it sit there for a minute, 2 minutes. If you're in the sun, you're gonna have to act quick. I am in the sun, but the tire itself is not. So what I'm gonna do is I have a bucket over here with soap and water, and I'm gonna grab my tire brush out. So I'm using you want to use a stiffer tire brush, that way it can scrub very well. And this is the nice size. It's very light. It fits in your hand nicely. I don't remember where I got this, but I've used it for a while and I really like it. So I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but you can see that the browning of the tire. The solution is it's actually almost black in some areas here. And you might have to do this if the tires haven't been cleaned for a while. You might have to do this 2 or 3 times, and that's okay. All right, now I'm going to rinse off. Now you guys can see all the browning in the runoff there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it again, and I'm going to inspect the suds. If they're starting to turn whiter, I will not continue any further, not to waste product. But if you're putting on one of those tire coatings that are starting to become popular, meaning that it's an actual coating for your tire, it's not like a tire shine, you will have to make sure that this sidewall is 100% clean slate, ready to go. You might have to go through a couple cleanings to get there, but I think the second cleaning is going to be fine. Again, just soak it down. Make sure you hit everything. Take your brush again. Oh yeah, you can, I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but you can see the suds are definitely a lot whiter than what they were on the first hit. Scrub the fender liner down. And I'll show you how to do the rears then too, or what I do on the rear to clean the rear fabric liners. Some cars have the fabrics in the front, but these still have plastic. Alright, so I'm going to let that sit there for a second. Next is I'm going to spray down the wheel with the wheel cleaner. My choice today is the P&S Running Doyle Collection Brake Buster. This is a really nice wheel cleaner. Doesn't have any of that harsh stuff like I mentioned about the acidic wheel cleaners. One thing, do be careful with this. Some stuff I've seen online, again, I haven't had any experience with it, but I have seen posts online, people that have like a matte satin finish on their wheels. This is factory clear coated, but like, you know, aftermarket wheel that might be a satin or a matte finish. There has been people that have had discoloring issues using this product, so just, you know, beware in that situation. But as far as wheels that are clear coated, that are from the factory, I haven't had any issues. And what's really nice about this has a corrosion inhibitor in it, so it creates less rust on the brake rotor after you do the rinsing and cleaning down of the rim. So basically what you do is you want to be a little bit liberal with it. You don't want to be too light. This is a really nice clingy, foamy type of wheel cleaner, so it doesn't flash, it doesn't dry too quickly on you to where you have to keep activating it. Again, we're not in direct sun on the wheel, so it's not, you know, the car hasn't been driven, so the wheels are cool to the touch. You do want to make sure your wheels are cool. You want to wait till, you know, a couple hours if you've been driving the car before you use this product, because you don't want it to start drying. So basically what I'll do, spray it on the surface, get it in the lug pockets, get the caliper, get it in the barrel. Again, you want to be a little bit liberal with it. This stuff is pretty cheap if you buy it by the gallon, so it's not going to terribly break the bank. And you can even put it in one of those IK foaming sprayers and dilute it 1-to-1 and get even more life out of it. But for this video, I'm just using it this way because these wheels aren't that bad. Alright, so let that sit for a second or two. While that sits, I'm going to show you what I have here in my wheel bucket. I have a couple different brushes, and again, there is no perfect brush for any type of cleaning of any rim. You have to have several in your arsenal if you want to tackle it and get the wheel thoroughly clean, because you have different designs, you have different spaces between the caliper and the barrel of the wheel, meaning some have wider space, some have narrower space. You need a specific brush accordingly to get that. So I have about 3 or 4 brushes in here. This one is from Adams Polishes. It's a 45-degree angled wheel Woolie. This is really nice for getting in behind the spokes and cleaning of the barrel. This is an easy detail brush from Griot's Garage. This is really nice for intricate parts, barrels that are hard to get into, because these actually fold downward flat, and it's got a rubber tip on the end, so you don't risk scratching the wheel. This is really nice for cleaning and getting into tighter areas in the barrel. What else do I have in here? I think that's the only 2 that I grabbed for that. This is a boar's hair. I use this for the lug nuts and maybe agitating the caliper a little bit. And then this one is for cleaning the face. This can go, your hand can go inside of this. This is just like a type of finger wash mitt, and it has a microfiber backing on it if you have to scrub some tar off or something. So let's get down in here. I'm going to use this brush here first and just kind of go in, just agitate the barrel of the wheel. And again, this is really nice because there's probably about maybe that much of space between the caliper and the wheel. Like this wheel Woolie would not fit in between there. So this is really nice to have in this situation. Dunk it back in the bucket from period of time. Rinse off the dirt and the brake dust. I haven't used the P&S on trashed wheels yet, so I don't know how strong it would be at cleaning wheels like that. But for general maintenance, or getting the wheels clean and what have you, it seems to be a pretty good product. Okay. Now I'm going to do the angle one, just make sure I didn't miss anything behind the spokes here. Again, I can't get this in between the caliper and the wheel. Not going for 100% on these wheels, but I'm kind of like Gary Dean. If you can see the barrel of the wheel with, visually and easily, they should be at least presentable and clean. So you get that part done. Now we're going to take the boar's hair brush inside the lug pockets. Get the caliber of what I can get. Get the space here on the rotor, between the rotor and the wheel. That gets sometimes a little dingy looking. This car doesn't get driven a whole lot, so the rotors get a lot of rust buildup from rain and moisture and stuff like that. So, and with it being a regenerative braking vehicle, plug-in hybrid, the brakes don't, sometimes you don't use a lot of brakes on a hybrid car. I've seen people get over 100,000 miles out of a set of brakes on a hybrid just because of the regenerative braking. So sometimes the rust gets built up on the wheel. So now we'll take the Chanel type of wash mitt here. I'm not going to put my hand in. I feel like I have more control doing it this way. Let's get in between the spokes. Not a too complex wheel to clean. Our spokes are a little tight, but definitely not all that bad. Just go over it a couple times. Between the soap and the brake cleaner, there's plenty of lubrication, so you really should be scratching. But on a silver wheel like this, you're really not going to notice it. If it's a gray wheel or a black wheel, you notice it more. That's why I choose to use a wheel cleaner sometimes, because of the extra lubrication that they have in them. brake dust is corrosive, or is not, is corrosive, but brake dust is also metal particles that fly off from your brakes. So, you know, metal particles are going to have the sharp edges to them microscopically that we can't see with our eye. Alright, so I think I got everything. So again, it's time for the rinse down, and we'll show you the results. Trick that I learned from Dallas Paint Correction helped the flushing of the wheel a little bit better is taking the tip off your power washer and doing this. Like flood the surface. Really make sure you get everything off of it. Right, so bear with me here. Show you the results. So as you can see, wheel is clean. I don't know if the camera's picking up on the barrel. I think the reflection is hurting it, but the barrel is clean. Face of the wheel is clean, and we'll go here on the driver's side, which has not been washed yet. And you can see a difference. See the dinginess there on the tire. And just look at that barrel. Look at that. So we're gonna clean the rest, and appreciate you guys watching. Talk to you soon. All right, welcome back. So like I promised, I was going to tell you here about the fabric, carpet, felt, whatever you want to call them, type of wheel liners that are really starting to become popular on today's vehicles. They're better sound deadening apparently, and they make less road noise. But the downside is they are a pain, and I mean a pain to clean. And here's why. You really can't, I mean you can, but you really can't use a brush on them. And the reason for that is what you'll start to do over a period of time using a brush, you will take apart, or you'll start pulling the fibers apart, and then it will just be more of a dirt trap, and dirt will stick and become harder to dislodge cleaning these. So I don't use any type of brushes. You can use they're called bottle brushes, also known as a toilet brush. You can buy those in the store, and they're pretty good at cleaning this stuff off. And that resort would be if you don't have a power washer. I would suggest using those because they're not that aggressive, and they seem to do a decent job. But if you have a power washer, that's the method that I would use. Not really going to show you because all I'm going to do is just spray them down with the power washer until the dirt is gone. So it's not too complex, but for those of you that don't have a power washer or anything like that, a bottle brush might be your best friend in this situation, because if you use any type of aggressive brush, you're going to pull those fibers apart and dirt will stick to them a whole lot more. I don't usually any cleaners. I just power wash them down until all that dirt is gone. But just wanted to talk to you about how I tackle these. That they're definitely not fun, and they definitely do not look good, as you can see when they're dirty. Car was on on vacation at the shore, and it rained the last day, so a lot of this is sand. So yeah, that's basically, you take the power washer, power wash them down. With the power washer, you want to use a finer tip on the end. This one I think is and it doesn't say on it. I think this one's 25 degrees. Yeah, this one's 25 degrees. You want to use like 25 degrees. That's what I've been using to clean the wheels and the tires, because it's a little bit more confined. It's not going to damage anything. If you start going a little bit thinner than that, especially with a power washer like I use here. This is a Ryobi from Home Depot. It's a 2300 series. So if you go any tighter, like this here, that's a 15 degree. You want to keep distance if you're going to be using that. But 25 and 40 is what I use the most in detailing. Again, 25 for wheels and things like this where I want more confined spray. Again, it's not going to hurt anything, because even though this thing is rated at 2300 PSI, that's what it's rated at the pump. That's not what ends up coming out of the trigger. So the longer your hose is, the line, and it's going to lose pressure as it goes through. So if I had to take a guess, it'd probably be anywhere from 17, maybe as much as 1900 PSI is when it ends actually coming out of the trigger, and that's not enough to do damage to a vehicle. And as you guys can see, as this started to dry, you can see tires clean, wheels are clean. So again, appreciate you guys watching.